View from the sidelines, back again after a very poor defeat yesterday. Joined by Gatesy from Irons and also Andy, who's on both channels. Andy, how are you, sir?
I'm losing my voice, mate. To be perfectly honest, I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling a bit fragile, but ready to recharge the batteries again. What about you?
Recharge the batteries, mate. Yeah, all good here. Gatesy, how you keeping, mate?
Yeah, all good, my friend. You know, one defeat yesterday doesn't define our season. So I'm trying to be a glass half full about it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But other than the result yesterday, I'm having a good weekend.
What do you right, let's start off at the beginning. Obviously, what did you boys make of the team selection yesterday? Was you happy? Was you shocked? On hindsight, looking back, would you have changed anything in hindsight going back? Gatesy, I'll go with you first, mate.
As far as the team selection's concerned, it was almost exactly what I thought he was going to go with. The one exception was I said that Masuaku would be on the left wing-back slot, and obviously he sustained a knock late in the day, and it was Ben Johnson that was his replacement. But it was, other than that, exactly the formation that I predicted and exactly the personnel other than Masuaku. Obviously, hindsight's perfect vision, so it's easy after the event to say it was the wrong team lineup, it was the wrong shape. I think with the injury situation being as it was, I would suggest it was probably the best lineup that he could put out reasonably. As I say, obviously we know the results. We can now look back on it and go, well, if this player had played here or this player, you know, hindsight is always perfect vision. But I think it was probably what I would have expected. I might have liked to have seen Ben Rama, if not from the start, at least possibly from half time or very shortly thereafter, to try and make a bit of a dent in the game. We made the comeback, obviously, but he came on at 75 minutes. For me, it was a bit too late for him to really sort of give any influence.
What did you think, Andy, on the lineup? Was you happy going into the game?
No, Gatesy, I know there was quite a few of us yesterday when we was all gathered around and we were all going if buts or maybes. But I think even I said it. I said Dawson should have had a rest, and I said Sufal should have come in after the lineups got announced. But I know it may just seem because I'm saying it because he got sent off. But I said it even last week after Leicester's game. I think he needs a rest. I think he's starting to fatigue. It's either he's starting to fatigue or the adrenaline of us doing so well and not being punished with defeats is going a bit unnoticed. But
what do you think it is? Do you think it's fatigue, or do you think his true colours are coming through?
I think it might be a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think it's mainly to do with the fact that when he's with Ogbonna, I think even bringing me or you, any of us three on this stream will I'll answer that in a second. I think any three of us would look good with Ogbonna next to us. That's no disrespect. Do you see what I mean? So it's a bit of a catch-22. But in regards to Simon's question, yeah, I'm feeling better, but my voice is starting to go. But I had me sleep last night, and I feel better. It's just my voice is going now.
Do you think, Gatesy, that this is sort of appeared all of a sudden, like because before the contract of him signing £2.2 million deal after 15 games, Craig Dawson was like a well beater, like touted to go and play for England, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's gone from touted to go and play for England to a man who's just completely imploded. Like what's going on there?
Well, we've seen it before, haven't we? Not just at West Ham, but at other clubs where a player is, you know, playing for a contract, if you will. I mean, one of the recent examples was Aubameyang at Arsenal. He was, you know, absolutely on fire, playing for a new contract. He got the new contract, and his form, virtually as soon as the ink was dried on the contract, nosedived dramatically. Whether that's what's happened here, whether he was, excelling himself because he was trying to get the deal over the line to sort of like activate the clause in the loan arrangement to make the deal permanent, and that now that that's been done, his levels have dropped. I really don't know. The only thing I would say is that I think that this has shown just what a loss Declan Rice has been, because you look at the last 4 games and we've conceded 11 goals. Now, in my opinion, I think that the protection that Declan Rice would have given would have been quite significant, and I think a lot of those goals would simply never have come to pass. Also, I think it's a bit of a double whammy because Declan Rice is out. Whoever it is that's got to play alongside Thomas Souček, and at the minute it is Mark Noble, but Thomas Souček then doesn't have as much of the license that he does with Declan Rice by the side of him to be able to bomb forward and affect the game at the other end of the pitch. But it is what it is. We are where we are.
Sorry if I've just thought of this. I remembered this yesterday, but I forgot to ask the question. So do you know Dawson got sent off? Yeah.
Mm.
So if he got all the way back and then blocked the ball on the line, what would have happened?
Well, they'd have waited for a break in the play, and he'd have still been sent off.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm just saying because he was involved in the next frame of play. I don't know what would happen because technically he shouldn't be. That's the question.
It is a bit of a bone of contention because you're right. If he'd have then come back and maybe blocked a shot, and you could say, well, actually he should have been sent off there, but it is what it is. I think he'd have got the yellow card. Obviously, I don't think any of us are arguing. I don't think any of us could argue that wasn't a yellow card. It absolutely was.
Yeah.
West Ham Online. How you doing, mate? What did you think of it yesterday?
I thought it was an absolute shambles in the first half. I thought we were all over the place. I thought the second half, though, I thought we played quite well considering we had 10 men.
Yeah, but can I say something there? Yeah? And I'll let you carry on. Did we play well, or did Newcastle not have to attack? Because do you know what I mean? Like Newcastle went, you know what, West Ham, you can have the ball, do what you like. You've got 10 men, and we just stick you on the break.
Yeah, you're right in that. But at the same time, no team should be conceding 2 goals to a team with 10 men. So was it the fact that Newcastle were not very good, basically? Probably that was a large proportion of it. But I do think in the second half, we certainly realised what sort of situation we got ourselves in, and the players stepped up a little bit.
What did you think of the lineup? I spoke to the lads earlier on, and I spoke to them just a minute ago before you come on. What did you think of the lineup? Was you happy? Was you content? Was you disappointed?
I wouldn't say I was happy with the lineup, but at the same time, with the injuries we've got, I don't think there was too much I would have done differently. What I would have done differently is not play the 5 at the back against Newcastle. I think that was always going to be a ridiculous idea. I think Ben Rama probably should have started, although he's been getting a lot of criticism for his performance on Twitter, basically. But yeah, I wasn't annoyed at the lineup, but at the same time, I might have made 1 or 2 changes, but I do think the injuries we have got certainly hurt us in terms of team selection. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you all now, right? The first 20 minutes I thought was terrible. I thought Newcastle was just a matter of time before they scored. And then Newcastle did score and Dawson got sent off. I'm going to ask Rob first. What was Dawson doing, mate? Why did he just let him go? And where is his head at there? Like, why is he? He knows he fouls him. It's good night, isn't it? Like, what's he doing?
I really don't know what he was thinking, James, because obviously it was a poor first touch, which then put him in trouble. And again, I know hindsight is perfect vision, but the way he just flew into that challenge, it was like, it was suicide in a professional sense. He put himself in trouble on the 12th minute. To be fair, looking at that foul, that was probably a foul he had to make, if that makes sense. It was a tactical foul. So in that situation, if you like, he took one for the team. So that yellow card, I probably had less of a problem with than the one that followed it. That one was just completely Craig Dawson himself, just his poor control just let him down. So listen, it's gone, it's done. Perhaps again, I'm trying to take it. I always try and find a positive out of a negative if I can. Maybe this will allow Craig Dawson to rest if there is maybe a fatigue thing that's sort of like creeping in, because he'll obviously be out for the Chelsea game. It remains to be seen whether he regains his starting place for the Everton fixtures that follows Chelsea, isn't it, if I remember correctly? So whether he comes back for that, I don't know, but it might just allow him to recalibrate, to rest, and to hopefully attack what remains of the season with a little bit more intent, with the intensity he showed in the first sort of 10 or so games that he was with us. Yeah.
West Ham Online. Well, I'm going to ask you, mate, and I'll get to Andy next. When he done that challenge, mate, what was you thinking?
I thought even if they score, even if it stopped them scoring, it was just one of the most stupid things I've ever seen. Because you'd have even if he let them go and they scored, you'd have thought against Newcastle, okay, if we have 11 men, we're more likely to get back into it. Taking him out completely, and then the fact they scored as well was just absolutely stupid. I'm still not sure really. I've read a couple of people have been saying in the rule, but you can't give the red card and the goal, but I don't know whether that's true or not, or everything behind that, but it was still absolutely stupid.
Andy?
I said it on
that challenge, mate.
Is
it the most stupidest challenge you've ever seen, though? Really?
Yeah.
This season.
I've seen some ridiculous challenges, but like I said on Gates's show earlier, Moyes should have brought him off as soon as he got off to that yellow card. You're playing against pace. You beat a bigger man, and you just bring him off. You bring him off. You change the formation. You bring either Fredericks on and then put Kufau in that position. You could even swap Johnson over into the right wing back role, and then bring Ben Rama on, and then move Fornells up the left. He had so many choices he could have made, and that's just my that's my opinion on it. I don't know about you. Do you reckon he could have made the sub or not?
Me personally, I think we was getting outplayed in the first 15 minutes. Obviously, he got sent off in the 36th minute, but I think Newcastle just said, give West Ham the ball, and we're on the break, and their goal come from hitting us on the break, basically. Newcastle didn't really have to do a lot, but we didn't do a lot, if that makes sense. Like, we didn't really, going forward, especially in the first half, I don't even think we had a shot on target, did we? Like in the first half, from what I can remember.
I don't remember Dubravka being made to make a save. If it happened, I don't remember it.
Yeah, and I just think it was poor. Obviously, we go 1-0 down, and I'm going to ask Rob this. What was you thinking, mate, when Fabianski goes up for a routine catch and throws it into his own goal near enough?
I probably couldn't tell you what I was thinking at that precise moment in time without swearing. And before the watershed, I won't do it. So, but I think it was when he did it. It was. I don't mean to be unkind, but it probably sort of illustrated probably where he got that Fabianski nickname from. And listen, he's been a fantastic goalkeeper for us, but I think it was Milesy that said it on our post-match debrief this morning on False Ryan, where he said that if that was Roberto doing that, we'd have all been saying get him out of the starting 11 now. The only difference is, however, that obviously the credit that Fabianski has in the bank means that that's not going to happen. And realistically, who would we replace him with anyway? Because the goalkeepers that we've got at the club are either untested in the case of Nathan Trott, or injured in the case of Darren Randolph, or just simply not up to Premier League standard in the case of David Martin. So Fabianski has to play, but he needs to reset. He's made, in my opinion, he made an error for the first goal as well. I don't think that was terribly good goalkeeping for the first goal. But the second one was just like, what are you doing? I mean, I've seen Park's goalkeepers, deal with corners better than that. It wasn't like he was really under that much pressure from an opposition player. So I struggle to see how it happened from an international Premier League goalkeeper. But
yeah, it was shocking, mate. Cathal, thanks for joining us, mate. What was your thoughts on Fabianski in the?
How are you?
What was your thoughts on Fabianski in general yesterday, mate?
Look, it's going to happen to every player. It's just the fact that he's a goalkeeper. It shows it obviously makes it look so much worse. But every player is going to have a shocker like that. And the thing is, as like Roberto's been brought up, Roberto never proved himself for us, and like he never earned any respect to sort of be making them mistakes. Fabianski's probably the best keeper I've seen in my lifetime. Him and Rob Green are the two that I've been able to see. And look, he's like, I'm not happy, but I feel bad for him. I know he apologized on social media and all, but like, every player makes a balls of things. It's just when you're a goalie, it can ruin the whole game. That's the problem.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I don't want it to seem like I was comparing him to Roberto. All I'm saying was,
I know it's a Roberto-esque thing.
His mistake has gone under the radar because it's like his that's the thing I'm saying. Like no one's like even on. Do
you think Andy is because of the Dawson sending off?
No, I just think it's because it's Fabianski. It's because it's Fabianski. That's what I reckon. It's nothing to do with Dawson being sent off or anything, because he didn't just make one mistake. In my opinion, he made two, and it's just got instead of blaming everything else, he's going. But yeah, no, I don't want to. I'm not slating him because he was my man in the match last week. But when a player makes a mistake, he deserves to get criticised. Like I'm slagging everyone else off.
Yeah. West Ham Online, what did you think on Fabianski's performance yesterday, mate?
Well, the thing is, he made a couple decent saves, but the second goal really was, I mean, it's a mistake that you can't make. It was like as bad a mistake as the one he made at Anfield when he let Salah's shot through his hands. I'm a huge Fabianski fan, and I still think that he's good enough to be our number one keeper. But that mistake was horrendous. Like Gatesy said, I really don't get how that happened, how you can let what seemed like a really simple, it was like you're just crossing it straight into his hands, but he dropped it. Every keeper makes a mistake, and like Cathal highlighted, it's more prominent when it happens to a keeper, but at the same time, you can't make that mistake, and hopefully it doesn't dampen his confidence too much, because it was a massive error.
Do you think, Gatesy, that it's when people are criticising Fabianski, when he's been really good for us? Now, I'm pretty sort of, I'll criticise where criticism's due. That's the first real bad performance Fabianski's done this season, isn't it? Really, like I can't really remember him doing anything else bad, if that makes sense.
No, I think in terms of, if we're talking performances, and Cahill's right, when you're a goalkeeper, unfortunately, it's not like you make a mistake when you're an outfielder. If you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, it's usually resulting in a goal being scored. So, they're always walking that tightrope. But in terms of Fabianski's performances this season, when he's been, between the sticks, he's been of a decent quality. He's not really had sort of too many poor performances that I can remember. I mean, in fact, probably the last poor performance I can remember was last season, the game at Anfield. Other than that, he's generally been quite reliable since he's walked through the door. So again, I don't want to sort of like give the guy undue criticism. He knows it was a bad mistake. He knows it was a bad error because he came out, as was said by Andy earlier, that he came out on social media virtually immediately and was apologetic. So he knows the error he's made, and we just got to say, okay, fine, it's gone. We move on. He's the best keeper we've got at the club, so he has to be in next time.
I agree, mate. I do. I think the criticism that he's getting is not justified, in my opinion. I know it was bad. And it was just a bad day. But then I could name about 5 or 6 players who were bad and all. So he wasn't just on his own. The night everyone else played well, and he was the only one. So, Cathal, at half time, mate, we're 2-0 down. Right, down to 10 men. What was you thinking at half time, mate?
I was thinking I probably wouldn't even end up finishing the match, like watching the rest of it. I was thinking I was lucky I even stayed in to watch it. I was thinking about going out. I had to cut the grass. I was like, I might just go out and do it now. There's no point watching this rubbish. But I stayed, and I'd rather if I didn't, because it's so heartbreaking to come back into a game. I'd rather lose it 2-0 or 3-0 than come back and have the hope of saying, all right, we can have a point, and we look like we could have even gone for the win, and then just go back to the typical, okay, now we've got a draw, and then everyone holds back and they go and score, and Callum Wilson should have scored another one. But half time, I was raging. I didn't even watch the last few minutes of the half. I walked out once Fabianski dropped it, and I didn't even see their celebrations. I just went and made a cup of tea.
Andy, half time comes, we're 2-0 down. What would you have changed at half time? Because I think that one change should have been made at half time, at least. What was your thoughts on that, mate, at half time?
I said Ben Rami needs to come on. We need something different to try and change the game. Bowen did get an assist, which is another good thing for his stats, but before that, he wasn't offering us anything going forward. He was just running into players. But like I said on Gates' show again earlier, you have to give Newcastle credit as well. Like, do you know what I mean? It was a bad day in the offense for us, but they've done our homework. They didn't press high like what Leicester did. We created 2 goals from against Leicester with high pressure, and we hit them on the counter. We couldn't hit him on the counter, and they isolated Lingard. Lingard had at least 2 players around him whenever he tried to have the ball. So it's a catch-22. But yeah, that's the only other change. I probably would have run Johnson off and brought on Fornals. Put Fornals where Johnson was and Ben Rama in the hole, and just to try and unlock something, or Bowen.
So basically, we go into the second half, and basically we start playing all right, and then we get a goal, Rob, from Issa Diop, ball in from Bowen.
Put it in the right
really
net
good
this
header
time.
and a really good header from Issa Diop. At 2-1, what was you thinking, mate? Was you thinking the comeback was on?
Yes, I when that goal went in, I did think we have enough time and we've got enough quality. I think that it's, and this isn't hindsight being perfect vision. I said it during the game. Milesy was sat next to me, and I said, that really we should have been making the substitutions a lot earlier than the 75th minute. I know that obviously we scored on the 73rd. But I agree with Milesy. For me, I'd have liked to have seen a more offensive player being brought on. We're 2-0 down. We're down to 10 men away from home. Let's try and make something happen, because what was largely served up, especially in the first half, wasn't working. So, I mean, whether it was Lanzini, whether it was Ben Rama, whether it was Yarmolenko, whoever, bring someone on at half time at least, try and influence the game in a more positive fashion. That was what I was looking for, and I think the substitutions, quite honestly, came well too late. in my opinion.
I agree, mate. I'll tell you what, I just want to get to this comment here, what Luke's has said. Bruce had no idea what to do when he was with the 2-0 lead. And that's quite true, isn't it? They was 2-0 up, comfortable, and he didn't know what to do. And before we knew where he was, we get a penalty. West Ham Online, we get a penalty from absolutely nothing, from a silly handball, but we'll take it. And then Lingard scores another goal. That's 9 goals now in X amount of games. What was you thinking at 2-2, mate? Would you have been happy to settle there and go, you know what, we'll wrap it up here, we get a point, we move on, or would you have said, you know what, let's go for it and try and go for the win?
I personally wanted to go for it, but if I'm honest, at 2-2, I still saw Newcastle as the team that was more likely to win, just because they had 11 players, and every time they went forward, it was like we had so many gaps, which is understandable because, I mean, as I said, we had 10 players. So, yeah, I wanted to go for the win, but I would have probably, I don't know if I would have taken a draw, but I wouldn't have been too annoyed because of the situation we were in. And I think a lot of the blame has to come to individual mistakes.
Yeah, I agree. And then Andy, Joe Willock, we spoke about him the other day. We spoke about him all week. We love him at West Ham. The man scores the winner with an header. And yeah, I like the irony of it, isn't it? Let's be honest. Like, unbelievable. And basically, that was the winning goal for them. What was you thinking then, mate?
Like I said, Soufal was absolutely ruined. He had no energy left. The amount of up and down running. I don't know whether we can get hold of the stats, but I'd like to see who covered the most miles for us at like the top 3 to try and get a better understanding on what it was. Because if we had 11 players, Soufal would have closed Richie down quicker. Maybe the ball wouldn't have come in. Bono was probably a bit fatigued as well, being first day back. He just seemed to be just standing there, not trying to jump for the header. I know we talked about it earlier as well. There was a bit of an arm in there, but if that was given against us, I'd be raging. So I'm not too fussed on that. But we'll just have to move on. Like I said earlier, we can take positives from this game. Hopefully, this can give us a kick up the backside, and we can go into the last 6 cup finals and get what we want.
Well, I want to ask everyone's opinion on this, not just mine, because obviously I'm a Ben Rama fan. But I thought he'd done all right. He done okay, but just okay. He wasn't great, but he wasn't rubbish. Like, he did whip in a ball that nearly went through into the goal. He looked a threat when he come on, but I think he was just on not enough time. Do you know what I mean? We needed him on well before the goals were going in, sort of thing. I thought he done okay, mate, but I want him to start, and his stats prove it. When he starts, we don't lose many. We only lost 1 game when he starts, so I'm going to go round everyone. Gatesy, what did you think of Ben Rama yesterday when he come on?
Same as you. I don't think he was earth-shattering. I don't think he was, exceedingly poor. But what are you expecting him to do in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
You're expecting him to come on with 15 minutes of the game, take a man down, and you're expecting him to win the game in 15 minutes. It's not reasonable, in my opinion.
Yeah. Andy, what did you think, mate? Ben Rama comes on at 2-1 down.
It's all well and good bringing Ben Rama and everything on, but all the other players are knackered. So if they're not going to be on the same wavelength as what everyone else is, he's probably, say for example, I don't know, like Fredericks. You could have brought, if you're going to make the change when Fredericks come on, you would have brought both of them on at the same time. Fresh legs to give us some sort of outball, because obviously Lingard went off, so we didn't have no creative threat either. Or you could have just went for it and brought Noble off, and because apart from when they went for the 3rd goal, they wasn't really attacking us, was they? When Wilson come on, so but like you said, we can sit here and go everything all over, but I'm just frustrated with the errors more than anything. It's different if it was a 3-2 game where they were just better than us, but the fact that we've gifted them the goals is more frustrating.
Cathal, what did you think of Ben Rama, mate? He comes on the 75th minute, and I see things on Twitter, people criticising him again, which I'm starting to get the hump with again.
You can't judge him. Like I'm not going to go on a thing about giving out about Moyes because I appreciate him so much, and he's brought me so much happiness with the way we've been playing over the last year. But he really needs some in-game management. Like, he really needs to step up in his in-game management. Ben Rama should have been on at half time. Like, we're 2-0 down, 10 men. We had no attacking threat because Lingard's like, you can't expect Lingard and Bowen to be the only ones who are attacking there to take it on the halfway line. Like, yeah, we did it against when we're counter-attacking and they're on a break, they could do it, but they can't do it from a standing start when they've 10 players in front of them because we're playing against a defensive team. He needed to be like, we needed to get him on at half time and just say, feck it, let him on, let him run at people. When he came on for a few minutes, he looked lively for a bit he looked lively for how long was he on? 5 or 6 minutes before we scored the penalty. He was running at
5
people.
minutes.
He was getting the ball. Yeah, he looked lively then. But then once we scored the penalty, no one looked lively after that. We shut up shop. We went straight to as we did against who was it? Was it Leicester and Wolves? We've done it against. We've shut up shop, and that doesn't give especially a player like Ben Rama, that gives them nothing to work on. But I think just bloody get him on the pitch. Like, we had nothing to lose.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I really do with you. West Ham Online, I see some of the things on Twitter with West Ham Central and a few others about Ben Rama, this hate for Ben Rama. What was your thoughts on his performance, mate?
Yeah, we were discussing that yesterday. The fact, I can't remember what his exact words were, West Ham Central, but he said he should be sold or something. Yeah, I completely agree.
He just trashes Ben Rama to get past his Fornals agenda. Like, I don't have a problem with Central a lot of the time, but I don't think he dislikes Ben Rama. I just think he's trying to get his Fornals agenda through. And I'm a big Fornals fan. I'm more of a Fornals fan than Ben Rama because he sort of proved himself with us. But I wouldn't listen to a lot of the stuff. Like, I wouldn't be worried about a lot of the stuff he's saying.
Let's not go ahead of ourselves because I'm going to get to Fornals in a minute because I don't see the fascination. I don't see the fascination in Fornals. Like, and what he does bring is good, but he's I think Rob summed it up earlier on. He's hard working but ineffective, and you can't put that any better. But what did you think on Ben Rama, West Ham Online?
Yeah, I was just going to say I completely agree with what you said. He was hating on Central, who personally, Cathal, I'm going to slightly disagree with you. I think Central is an absolute idiot. But he was hating on Ben Rama. I said to him, where the hell was Fornals? Was he playing? He was rubbish. The guy was rubbish. But anyway, when Ben Rama came on, I'll be completely honest, I don't think he did well. But you can't judge a player on 15 minutes. He needs a start. I think almost every time he started, apart from the home Palace game in which I thought he was poor. But apart from that, every time he started, I think he's done really well.
When he starts, he gets shipped off too early as well. That's the annoying thing. When he does start, he gets shipped off after 60 minutes or 65 minutes whenever he's actually been promising. That's the thing. Moyes needs to get his in-game management up.
Yeah,
see Scott says this here, yeah. Imagine if he was 2-0 down with Ben Rama starting, you know for a fact he would have been brought off before the 60th minute. Which
can't argue with that.
Well, that's literally what I just said, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just I just think to myself that he's just an easy scapegoat. I've had a few backwards and forwards this week, different channels, False from Irons, here, a few others about Said Ben Rama, and the thing that I can't stand is people saying one thing and doing another. When he's okay to come on the pitch and save us, but he's not okay to start, which I don't really makes no sense in my opinion. But I'm going to start off with Rob on this one. I want you to tell me, Rob, and then what we're going to do in a minute. Well, I'm going to go around everyone for Fornals, then we're going to do a player ratings, right? Rob, what was your thoughts on Fornals yesterday?
As I said earlier, he was busy. He was energetic. But what did he actually do in an offensive sense? Not an awful lot from where I was sitting. As I say, he was busy but ineffective.
What position is he, Rob? In your opinion, like from what if you didn't know what position he played, what would you say is his position? What would you be looking at?
I believe he's a number 10. That's my belief. I don't believe he's a left midfield. I think you get the best out of him as a number 10. The thing is, we've got an awful lot of players who probably their best position is at that position. You know, you look at I think Ben Rami again in my position. In my opinion, I think he's probably best utilised as a number 10 rather than wide left. That's just my opinion. You could say the same about Jesse Lingard. I think Jesse Lingard is probably best in the number 10 position as well. Manuel Lanzini is best in the number 10. I mean, if he was still here at the club, I'd say Felipe Anderson would be best utilised in the number 10. So we've got an awful lot of playmakers, but you obviously can only play one in the team. So sometimes you're having
to... When they play, they don't shine. That's the problem.
Yeah. No, as I say, I'm not saying...
It might be their best position, but they've never proven themselves who has to start. It's almost a constant recycling of, okay, you're in this game, you're in this game.
Yeah. Andy, what about you, mate? Fornells, talk to me. Because I can understand the Ben Rama thing. People saying, you know what, he's not doing it. I don't like it, but I've got to I can take a bit of that. But the praise that Fornells gets for doing not a lot is overhyped, in my opinion. What's your thoughts, mate?
He's not overhyped. Like yesterday, like the last few games, he hasn't performed, but I still think he's a class player. But I just didn't know what formation we were playing. It was like, are we playing a 3 in the midfield, or was we playing Noble, Souček, and Fornells together? Like I just didn't know what position he was, and I just don't know who wouldn't have. Like Masuaku's injury, I think, has just completely messed up our setup, the way we were going to play. We were going to play like what we've done against Leicester, is just hit them and then hit them on the break. And I think it's just completely messed their preparation up, because, like I've said it, Ben Johnson, for me, we haven't got the big enough squad, but he should be out on loan. He shouldn't be anywhere near the first team, but we've not had no choice on the matter. But the fact that we've got no one else, and I said it on Gates' show earlier, the thing is, what's worrying me is the fact that we've got no other left backs at the club, even in the under 23s or under 18s. Just put him in, because he's getting the hatred for being in the wrong position. We need to get someone in.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. He gets a lot of hate when he's not even playing his natural position. West Ham Online. Thoughts on Fornells, mate? Like, me and you have seen it over the last sort of 24 hours on Twitter and everything. People praising him up, saying he's this, he's that, he's amazing and all that. And then Ben Rother gets a lot of hate. I didn't see an amazing player yesterday. I see a man who, as Gatesy put it brilliantly, work rate, superb, but just non-effective going forward.
Yeah, I personally think he is slightly overrated in large sections of our fan base. To put that in perspective, and I can try to go find this, the other day I was having an argument in a group chat that I'm in of fans who were trying to say, because he works hard, he's more important to us than Lingard. I mean, that was just ridiculous to me.
Wow.
And yes,
that's just don't even bring that one up.
And yesterday,
what were they smoking?
I don't know, but they all seem to think it because he works hard. I don't. I was like, what? But anyway, yesterday.
Can't agree with that.
Yeah, yesterday I thought he was really quiet. I thought he was better, to be fair, than Bowen and Lingard for large proportions of the game. In terms of, he did get involved a bit. But once he reaches the final third, he should have a caution on him. He literally gets... I think he's allergic to the final third. And, yeah, he just wasn't great.
Careful. Thoughts on Fornells, mate?
The thing that Fornells is going to constantly be getting criticised because of the way, like, he's nothing special when he's there. He's not like this fast. He's not that fast. He's not that strong. He's just He does his job, I think. But the thing that Fornals has is we play better. I know we just had a shit game in general yesterday. It just didn't work out. But we played better as a team with Pablo Fornals in it. We seen it when he was out with the. Was he injured or was he just out? He wasn't playing for a while, and he just. Yeah. I think he just is something. He's just a bit of a role player, but he just makes us work so much better when we have him. I think, when Moyes was at Everton, he had that. I think it used to be called an inside. Is it an inside left or an inside 8 or something? They used to call them. And
Stephen
Pienaar he used to have out there, or Stephen Pienaar. Ruben Pienaar was an Ulster player, I think, or something. Stephen Pienaar. Yeah. He had a player like that. I think it's a Moyes plays the systems, and he fits that system better. So he's going to be getting criticised because he doesn't look that flashy when we play him. But he is. Yeah. I think he is just a nailed-on starter because he works. It works in our system.
Yeah, but is there? See, this is the thing I'm going to say on this. Yeah, and I'm going to ask everyone's opinion quickly on this one. Yeah, he should be working hard anyway. Like I know, I get it. Like he works hard. He's energetic. He runs around the pitch, but he's got to be doing more than just working hard. Surely,
the reason people are happy with seeing him work hard is because before we had him playing, we had players like Felipe Anderson and players like even Lanzini who don't look to work as hard. So when Fornals comes in, it looks like a complete revelation. So people can use that as something as a positive for him. You'd expect every player who's earning a wage to work hard. The unfortunate thing is they don't.
Yeah, I agree, mate. It's just a hit and miss one, isn't it? Really, it really is. Some fans like him. When I look at Fornals, me personally,
I think we all like him. It's just there's so much agendas based towards him. You're kind of shoved into this. You have to have an opinion. You have to like him or you have to hate him. It's just leave him be. Criticize him after every game, I think. Don't have this whole... There should be no agendas with any player. Play every game as it goes. If he's shit in that game, criticize him for it. If he plays well in that game...
but wouldn't you agree, though, Keffel? Like, for a player who's playing as number 10, he's got to be more influenced at the attacking third of the pitch, not in the middle of the park. I know, I get it.
I don't know if he is a 10. I think he's that sort of... I don't know what the position's called. If that's what inside left or whatever they used to do, he sort of sits in between the attacking midfield and the midfield. As I said, I said before, our defensive midfield, when we're playing the counter-attacking football, our defensive midfield is in the box or around the D by the time we win the ball back. So he is the link up in the middle before the attack. He's not a full-on attacking midfielder. He is the middleman that brings the ball from our defense and our defensive midfielders who are in the box by the time we win it up to the attackers. He is in sort of limbo with that because you don't know his position. You have to fit him on the team sheet somewhere, but it's not where he's going to play in game.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, mate. Right, let's bring this man in. If he's still here. Peach, you are in the house. I don't know what's happened to your camera, but you're in the house. Right. I'm going to start off with do a bit of a player ratings in this one today. And I'm going to go through the whole team. So we're going to start off with Fabianski. I'm going to start off with Rob. Give me a rating out of 10, Rob, and faults, mate. Fabianski concedes 3, 2 mistakes.
3. I think, I don't listen. As I say, he's been magnificent for us. There's no getting away from that. I'm not slagging him off for slagging him off's sake. I think he's been absolutely brilliant for us. But on the basis of, he's essentially cost us, in my opinion, 2 of those 3 goals. He has to shoulder an awful lot of responsibility for that defeat. 3. Simple as that.
Andy?
2 for me.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of his worst performances in a West Ham shirt, and everything just didn't seem right. Not even the mistakes. It was like his kicking and
I will say that his kicking was absolutely horrendous yesterday. I noticed that.
Well, his kicking's not great anyway. He's an old style keeper. Like, he doesn't have that to his game, but it was below his normal par yesterday.
But it's not so much that. It was that, and I know we're never going to change him, and that's the bit what I find frustrating with him. And
Yo, my headphones ain't working, dog. Hold up, dog. Oh, I'll be right back, dog. I'll be right back. How do you mean?
He never Leicester he done it. I think he done it like twice, and a couple. I think it was before the Arsenal game. He just doesn't release the ball quick enough. Like he comes out sometimes, catches the ball from a corner. We've got 3 players running from the edge of the box, and he just fucking released the ball. But went over.
West Ham Online. Fabianski, mate. Concedes 3, 2 mistakes, poor kicking, poor in general, mate. What would you give him?
Yeah, I don't want to go on too long for each player because I think what Andy and Gatesy just said was pretty much exactly how I feel. I personally feel the other mistake that you're debating is maybe, so I can see why you'd think it's a mistake and why people would say it's not. But overall, his kicking was shocking. I think you could have probably put a dog out there and you probably would have got better kicking than him. So 3 for me as well.
Careful.
I'll just give him a 2. There's nothing more to say after what all the lads have said there.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
How do you?
Peach, how you doing, man?
James, my man, my G. Yo, let me ask you something. Sorry to interrupt the conversation, but y'all guys are talking some knowledge, and then Peach comes in and fucks it all up. But where do you live, from Diagonal tube station, man?
Peach, I can't word you're saying, man. I don't know what's the matter. Your headphones.
Your headphones are dodgy, Pete.
It sounds like you feel rocky.
No.
You sound like you're in Finding Nemo with those headphones.
Oh, you know what? I'm taking these shit off. Hold up, dog. Fuck these headphones, man. Yo, hold up. Yo, fuck these headphones, dog. I got these things at the liquid. Yo, I got these things at the liquidation center. What up, baby girl? What up? Yo, I got these things at the liquidation center, man. And they were $12, like £6. They're worth £6, man. How do you mean, man? But I was asking you, where do you live approximately to Dagenham East, district line things, dog?
Nope.
James.
I think James is frozen.
Oh, James, come on. If it's not me, it's him. If it's not him, it's me.
I'm so excited for Peach to be
I
here.
mentioned Dagenham, and then shit goes upside downwards. Gatesy, big up. 100 miles I'm running. Your new name is Mr. Platter. Straight up. Mr. Platter, man. How do you mean? Mr. Platter. Yo, I'm having the seafood tonight, dog. I went to the supermarket. I went to the Dunya. Yo, James, pick yourself up. So, let me ask you, where do you live proximity-wise, to Dagenham East, district line?
Eastway. Dagenham Eastway, man.
I know, but you get off at Dagenham East or no?
No, I get off at Eastway, and Dagenham East is next one up.
I'm the one after Dagenham East.
So okay. Oh shit. Okay. I got you. Because my nan. Go on.
Right, Peach, give me a rating. I want you to give me a rating, then we'll talk about it after, man. Give me a rating for Fabianski.
No doubt. I apologize. Go on.
Yeah, give me a rating for Fabianski, mate, out of 10.
1 million. You know why it's 1 million? Because he put it all on his shoulders, apologizing when, he dropped the ball, but he didn't even have to apologize, dog. The team played like garbage, and it's he said sorry on behalf of himself and on behalf of everybody else, man. What a man. Come on, Fabianski is a legend. And you know what? For him to have the cojones, or how they say in the States, the kahunas, for him to have the balls, basically, to apologize for his performance, he saved us so many times. Man, he's like a hammock. Straight up, man. Straight up. It ain't Fabianski's fault. It's Dawson's fault. Dawson's a fucking idiot, dog. What Dawson did on that second challenge is what my little kindergarten cousin would do, man. That was dumb. That was dumb, man.
Right.
That was dumb.
Right. Moving on. Right. Kufal. Rob, talk to me, mate.
Am I allowed to give half marks?
No, we don't do
Yes,
half.
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm torn between 6 and 7. I think he faded quite badly in the latter stages of the game, which
He was cream
was
cracker,
quite.
though, mate. He was cream cracker, man.
I think I'm going to give him a 6, which might appear harsh, but I think he's not. It's 6 is okay. It's nothing special, as I say. I think if he could have maintained his levels for the duration of the match, it would have definitely been a 7. But I think he just sort of like the last knockings of the game, his tank was empty. So unfortunately, he slips into the 6 category.
Yeah, Andy.
Sorry, who we doing?
Kafal?
Oh, Kafal.
Kafal, mate.
Yeah, 6 as well. I loved him. He contributed so much, but I've knocked a mark off for his not closing down for the cross for the third goal.
Yeah.
Ask me, dog.
I'll get to you last, Peach.
Always saves the best to last.
Careful. Kafal, mate.
I'd give him a 7 because, like, he was basically our only attacking threat. He was the one that was bringing the ball. But Johnson had a decent second half, in fairness to him, but bringing the ball up. But like that shows you just the way Vladimir Sufal is made. Like we have our worst performance of the season. One of our worst performances where everyone is rubbish, and he's still a 6 or a 7. I don't like it's a 6 or a 7. It has to be because he's just that's why he's my hammer of the year because he doesn't seem to he doesn't disappear. He's just Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Before I get to West Ham Online, he's sort of like I don't think I've seen him play a bad game or do something stupid. Like everything he does pretty well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I agree with you there, man. West Ham Online, Kafal, mate.
Yeah, 6 for me. I think his energy was brilliant. I thought he was up and down that line brilliantly. But the third goal, he should have closed down a bit. Probably a lot to do with the fact that he was probably ran so much. And I think, I'm not going to deduct your marks for this, don't get me wrong, but I think he probably could have scored as well, which isn't his job. So I just thought I'd mention that. And I just wanted to quickly say to Peach, your weekly prediction, Peach, was close again. You predicted a 7-2 win. So I don't know what was your.
It was close, right? Like a little bit close. Fuck off.
Peach, talk to me, mate. Kafal, give me a rating out of 10.
800 million. 800 blood clot million, dog. Because that man ran his nose into the ground. It's Thomas Repka in disguise. And if we didn't have him, that could have been like 4 or 5 mil, man. Straight up, man.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. So 800 million and 1,000 million for Peach so far. Right, let's get on to the centre halves. Right, and I'm going to start off with Dawson here. Gets booked, gets sent off. Rob, give me a rating out of 10, mate, for his performance yesterday.
1 for turning up.
Right, that's quick.
What did he do that was half decent other than turning up?
Nothing.
He gets a yellow card. He gets a yellow card after 12 minutes, which means he's then, he's treading on eggshells for the rest of the game. 36 minutes, total sort of like park standard control for the ball that was played into him. He then dives in for a challenge, gets the second yellow card, gets sent off. What else did he do in the match? Nothing.
Yeah.
So he gets a 1.
I agree, mate.
He gets a 1.
I really do. Andy, give me a rating out of 10, mate, for Dawson.
0.
Yeah, I agree with you there, mate. He's cost us the game, I think, in my opinion. I know Fabianski was at fault for the goals, but you don't go sliding in like that. Kafal.
Yeah, it's just a 1. Like, I think we've everyone's already gone over it enough. Like, it was just. It just derailed the whole game for us.
West Ham Online.
-2,000. He was absolutely shocking. He played like a rat on roller skates. The guy was sliding so much.
Please strip a little out of it.
What's up? What?
Yeah, I mean, we ain't got to Peach yet, but you know what I mean. Peach, what was your rate?
James?
Go on.
James, I wanted to quickly say the only reason it wasn't minus 3,000 is because the first tackle he did, I thought was fantastic. The way he just completely wiped him out and then done a thumbs up to him. I really enjoyed that. So that was the only part of his game that I enjoyed. And his first touch should be illegal as well.
I agree, mate. Jake, if you want to come on, mate, message me and I'll send a link to you. You can come on. Peach, right? I want you to be serious with me now, brother. Give me a rating for Dawson.
Minus a gazillion, billion, trillion, and a +1 for putting his shirt on right. So it's like a +1 for like minus a gazillion, billion, trillion. He was like, yo, the first when he did that tackle I said on KT's show with you, James, and you, Mozzie, I said like, yo, you saw the red coming. You saw the red coming. Like if Pierce didn't see it, Nolan didn't see it, Irvine, Naveen, Moyes didn't see it. Like they should have subbed, man. They should have subbed. Like put Fredericks on or some shit, man, because you saw it. You know when you can see shit coming, like. You know when you're at a nightclub and you're looking at some gal and like you know shit's gonna go off, and it's like, yo, shit happens. It's like that was like how it was. It was like the girl was giving me eyes in the nightclub, and like all I had to do was open my mouth and talk to her, and like I knew shit was like off the rocket, and it's like that's how it was. Once he got that yellow,
I'll tell you what.
I saw red, man.
I'll tell you what, Peach. I definitely want to go nightclubbing with you, mate. I swear, it'd be an amazing night. Trust me.
Brethren, I'm talking about like nightclub things. I'm talking about like I know you got a missus, but like get a night off. I'm talking about like going to a nightclub thing, putting down 2 sherbets, 2 bevies, talking to the gal. Them they got you with like the East London, they got me with the Canadian, and then we go fucking kebabbing after, dog. How do you mean? Yo,
hey, mate, I swear he's been Romford. Right. Right, let's move on. Right, let's keep it under orders, James. Issa Diop, Rob, scored a goal, made a silly mistake. Should have done better, really, in his performance, especially with that. Especially with the third goal, I think he could have done a bit better. Like he could have. His position could have been a little bit better, but other than that, he's sort of. What did you think, mate?
I thought he was unfortunate in some ways with the own goal, because I seriously think that Fabianski should have done better, and it shouldn't have been. He should have got hold of the ball, and it shouldn't have been, pushed out and onto his legs. He couldn't sort his feet out. I did feel a little bit sorry for him, actually. I thought in the second half he looked a lot more composed than he did in the first. He got the goal. I hear what you're saying about the third and the winner for Newcastle. I think if I say that Soufal was a 6, then I'm probably going to say 5 for Diop.
Yeah. Andy?
6 for me. Like what Casey said, the own goal was unfortunate, but the one thing what you can't take away from him is a threatening opponent's box. He was unlucky across the line. He got his goal this week, and he was better when Dawson went off.
Yeah, I agree with you there, guys. But I actually do agree. I think he was a lot better. I think before I get to Cathal, I thought they was running into each other. All the centre halves were running into each other, sort of thing.
Yes.
And no one could sort of sort it out, sort of thing, because they're all leaders in their own right.
We were playing too many traditional centre backs. That's the issue.
Yeah. Cathal, talk to me, mate. Diop, give me a rating.
I'll give him a 5. Like. He scores when he gets consistent game time, he does score goals for us. Like he does score a few goals. I'm still not convinced by him yet that he's not worth replacing. Like I'd still like a better centre back than Diop in the team. I don't think he's great, and he hasn't shown himself to be that good. So, look, I'll give him a 5.
West Ham online.
Well, I think I might need to tell him to unfollow me. I've just about had enough of him. I'm sorry, but when he plays, we concede more goals. The facts are there. The guy, in my opinion, is rubbish. I've had an absolute enough of him. Yes, he got his goal, but he's like Bambi on roller skates. Like, I mean, come on, the guy. He's just. I'm fed up with him.
Yeah, but do you? How can I put it? Like, he didn't. I won't say he was great, but he weren't no worse than Dawson's been over the last couple of weeks.
No. He was miles better than Dawson. That guy needs arresting for his first touch. But Diop was just. Them two as a combination is an absolute nightmare. As you said, they seem to have no communication between each other. Neither of them are good on the ball either. I mean, it's a calamity at the back when them two are playing. It's literally the Chuckle brothers.
Yeah. Peach,
Okay,
he's a Diop, mate.
I'm gonna be realistic now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take away 4 for the own goal, but then I'm gonna give him 4 for the goal, and I'm gonna add 2. So I give him a 6.
Fair enough, Peach. Good man. Rob, the man returned 2 months out. Angelo Bonner. What's his rating in your opinion, mate?
I think that the opening stage of the game. I saw a little bit of rust, if you will. There was a ball that was played to him. It should have been routine. He should have got hold of it. He miscontrolled it. It went out for a throw-in. He recovered well after that, though. I mean, his organisation. He was quite vocal from what I could see. He was barking out instructions to players around him, which is something I think we've missed. You know, he's a leader. We need we've obviously lost Declan Rice. We've lost Cresswell. These are sort of like leaders in the dressing room, leaders on the pitch. So Angelo stood up. He couldn't get back for the opening goal. Maybe should have done a little bit better as well in the winner. Perhaps maybe he went down a little bit too easily. But I'd probably say he was a 6.
Before I move on to Andy, West Ham unofficial said Bonner was 75% fit at best, rated him a 6. I don't even think he was 75% fit, mate. I think he was 50-50 in my opinion.
I think he was that though. I mean, I take Jake's point. I don't think he's wrong, but I think that the thing is the only way you can get match fit is by playing matches. It's as simple as that. You know, he's going to be fit. He's physically fit, but there's a world of difference between being physically fit and being match fit, match sharp. And the only way you're going to get match fitness and match sharpness is by playing matches. So that's to be expected. His first match back after 2-3 months out, whatever.
2 months, mate. 2 months.
So it's bound to happen.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I really do. Andy, give me your rating, mate, for Bonner.
5 for me, but the main reason why I'm giving him a 5 is because, like I said earlier on Gates' show, he's never really played on the left centre back side of the back three, so I think that sort of messed him about, and I think he was looking around for Cresswell, to be perfectly honest. But I'm glad he's played to get his match fitness up, and we just need him back to his A game for next week.
Cathal?
I'll give him a 5. I find it hard enough to rate sort of the players that haven't made the big mistakes because there was nothing to show from them really. I can't. I don't think he should have been on the pitch. In all honesty, I don't think he should have been playing. I'll give him a 5 because he didn't do anything outrageously wrong, but he didn't impress me. It's not like you'd notice. Okay, our leader centre back is there.
Do you think though on that third goal, he's in the box? I know everyone can say he got fouled and all that.
He got a touch in the back, but he's a big man. He's 6'3". He's big and strong. He should be able to take that. It's not like it's his first rodeo. playing football his whole life. He should be able to take something like that and still get his head on it.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree with you totally. West Ham Online, a bonner, mate.
It's weird because literally everything Andy said I was going to say. I forgot that he was marking Willock, though, on the third goal, and you should not be losing a header to a guy who's that much smaller than you. So I won't let it influence my rating too much, but I'll take it. But I'll remember that. Personally, I'm going to give him a 5. I think that highlighted to me that maybe... I'm not saying that he's good defensively at all, because Creswell this is poor defensively, but I think it highlighted to me how important Creswell is to us in those little games at the moment, in playing that left centre-back role. Because you saw Ogbonna, like, in the final third, trying to whip in crosses, and he just can't do that. And yeah, it just did look like he was shoehorned into a position that he can't play, and it was a little bit unfair on him to play him in a position that he just can't do.
Yeah. So what did you rate him, mate?
5 for me.
5 for you, mate. Peach, talk to me, mate. A bonner. Give me a rating.
I will, man. It's like you know when you ain't feeling too good and you have to pull a sickie. He should have pulled the sickie because the rating I'm giving on Bonner was NR, not ready. He was not ready, man. He was not ready, and we've done seen like when Allardyce was in charge, rushing back Carroll. We've done seen like man, rushing back Antonio, like and Ogbonna was not ready. Like why don't you just put Fredericks in there? Keep it Diop and Dawson, and Sufal or Johnson, whatever, too. Like he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready, James. He was not ready. He should have called Moyes like, oh, I can't play today, Gaffer. I can't play today, Gaffer. Like he should have done that for the better of the team. Yeah.
So we've got 5s, we've got 4s, and we got not ready. Right, we move on. Right, Mark Noble, Rob. I actually thought Noble played all right. I didn't think he played. I think he played. I didn't really see him do a lot wrong. He was unlucky to push St. Maximin wide. He done all what he could. What did you think of Mark Noble, mate?
I think that it's unreasonable. I mean, St. Maximin was running at Noble a hell of a lot during the match, especially in the first half. And if he's gets into a foot race with St. Maximin, he comes off second best every time. But he did what he could for the first goal, as you said. He's tried to force him wide. He's got his shot away, and obviously the rest we know. I think I'm probably going to go a 5. That might be a tad harsh, because I mean, like I say, he was having a guy running at him that just had him on toast. It's not his fault. He was left horribly exposed in that situation. I'm probably going to say a 5. I don't think is an unduly harsh mark. I'm not saying he had a crap game, but it is what it is. So 5.
Andy,
5 for me as well. He done what he had to do. When you notice that when your team doesn't play well, there's not really any stand-up performances, and I think our averages are probably between 4 and 6. So I'm just going to go in the middle. He done a typical Noble performance. So yeah, 5 for me.
Yeah, Cathal.
Yeah, I'll just give him a 5. He didn't impress me. He didn't sort of make me do any wise Noble on the pitch moments sort of thing. So I'll give him a 5. At times, he slows it down too much. He tries to do, that typical Noble pass where he could just ping it with a bit of pace to it, but he does that backspin over the top sort of ball constantly where he could just make it a bit easier. Sometimes that annoyed me, but no, overall he didn't enrage me, but he didn't show me anything worth more than the half mark.
Yeah. West Ham Online.
Yeah, 5 for me. He was okay. Very average performance. I think we definitely missed Rice. I'm not saying this is Noble's fault, but since Rice has been out, we've conceded the most shots out of any team in the league. And obviously Noble just can't do the role like Rice can, which isn't a problem of his own. But I thought Noble overall was quite average yesterday. Nothing too bad, nothing too good.
Peach, give me a rating for Noble, mate.
I'm giving Mr. West Ham. I'm giving Mr. West Ham a 1. With wait for it, with a 6. That's 16. I'm giving Mr. West Ham a 1 to the 6, which is 16, because that's all that Mark Noble can like bring to us right now, and he works his bollocks off, man. And yo, honestly, like he did everything he could in the better of the team and for the better of the team. So I'm giving him a 16, a 1 to a 6.
Only you, Peach. Only you, mate, can go I could do a player ratings for 1 to 10, and you find 16 , brother. That's all I'm going to say.
Peach is allowed, James. Peach is allowed.
Gazillions and billions and trillions.
Yeah, that's fine, man. That's fine. Rob, Thomas Souček, mate. What did you think of him yesterday? What did you make of him?
He was busy. I thought he was busy. He had a couple of decent crossfield passes. He was making a nuisance of himself at set pieces. I'd say a 6, solid 6.
Andy?
Andy, I think you've muted yourself.
You're on mute, sir.
Sorry. Yeah, no, he's He didn't do much. He didn't do, but he's not the same without Declan Rice on the pitch. So you can't really compare the way he plays. But 6. He didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't do nothing right. Well, not right, but you know what I mean. Yeah, just a normal 6 for me.
Careful.
If I'm giving Noble a 5, I'll give Souček a 4, just because I thought he was disappointing for his own standards, like for the standard he set. Even though I'm not expecting him to be driving into the box scoring goals, I thought that was one of his worst performances. And I know there's not much he can do when we're set back like that with him, with a restricted Mark Noble beside him and the defense like an extra man off. But he just like in them sort of games where he can't, where like if we're not going to win, and if it's not a game where he's going to score, like a lot of the time he's not that impressive. Sometimes he's just an extra link-up player because he's not that fabulous of a technical footballer. I thought Mark Noble had some better passes than Souček and all. I'll just give him a 4 because it was disappointing by his standards.
West Ham Online.
5 for me as well, same as Noble. What I didn't like is James, me and you saw and spoke about this. He was getting some really weird hate on Twitter. People saying that he's overrated and carried by by Declan Rice, which was weird to see. And it's a shame how people's opinions can change over like one game. But yeah, I thought he was quite average yesterday, but I don't think he was anything to completely change your opinion on a player. Has he
lost his way, West Ham? Has he lost his way a little bit?
No. I think he'll be fine. I think it wasn't so long ago, only a few weeks ago, he scored a hat-trick for Estonia and scored the game back for us. So I think he'll be fine. It's just one of those things. A lot of his goals come from set pieces, and that's what people think stick in people's heads. To be fair. And the set pieces have been a bit off lately, so I don't think it's a fault of his own. I think he'll be backfiring soon. Yeah.
Peach, give me a rating for Thomas Souček, mate, out of 10.
I'll show you. Hold on, I'm just gonna have my jacket on. It's nice and warm now. It's weird. I'll show you. You know when, James, like you got like an upset tummy and you need to like crack a ginger ale open and leave it for like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours just to get flat? Right? And it makes your tummy feel better. That was Souček yesterday. So, like, for me, Souček was flat. Souček gets a 0. Because, like, if he was a ginger ale, he would have got a 5. But he gets a 0 for me, man. Straight up. Like, that, I forget who said it. I think it was West Ham Online. But it's like, his standards are up here. He runs his bollocks off. He's always at the back post. There was none of that.
Yeah.
None of this yesterday. Like, and he misses Rice dearly. So he gets a goose egg from me, man, straight up.
Right. Peach has spoken. We move to 4-0s, Rob. This is the man that I want. This is the one I'm looking forward to rating. What's your thoughts, mate?
Didn't really see much of the ball in the first half, from what I could see. He, as I say, he was busy. He was buzzing all over the pitch. I mean, the ground he covers, is phenomenal. But going forwards yesterday as an offensive force, what did he achieve? Not an awful lot in my view. I'd probably say 4.
4 from Rob. Andy?
3 for me. I'm 4-0's biggest fan, but I know we're saying he should be a number 10. I believe he is a number 10, but he didn't create nothing. So yeah, a 3 for me.
Keffel?
I'll give him a 4. It's just one of those games. Like you can't. I'll sort of hope he's back to his. Well, I know his usual self isn't always that impressive, but I hope he performs on whenever we're playing Chelsea, Saturday or Sunday. I'm not even sure. I just give him a 4 for that one.
4. West Ham Online.
Yeah,
you see it with Central, mate, and all this stuff like people were saying about him and Ben Rama. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Central said he was good yesterday. Pure delusion based on his agenda. The fact is, he was about as creative as a broken crayon. He showed no invention yesterday, and he was just literally just running around. 5 for me. I know me and Peach were speaking yesterday, and Peach said he's just the Spanish Peter Pan. So 5 for me.
Peach, what's your rating, mate? For 4-0s.
Yo, where did the COVID-19 come from? Was it Wuhan?
Yeah.
Okay, 4-0s gets a Wuhan, dog. Because you know why 4-0s gets a Wuhan? Because he ran like a chicken with his head cut off, dog. So for me, 4-0s gets a Wuhan, dog.
I'm loving this one, mate. I'm getting them on every week, mate. All these analogies is just pucker. But,
anyone that's watching in China has just switched off, though.
Yeah.
Big up China. How you mean? Big up China.
Please do not unsubscribe. I'm trying to get the ratings up. You know what I mean? But yeah. Right, we'll move to Jared Bowen.
I don't think they even have YouTube over there. I think Google's all banned.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Rob, Jared Bowen, mate. He assisted the goal for Diop, but other than that, he didn't do a lot. What was your thoughts?
Again, similar to 4-0s, ran hard, but not an awful lot of cutting edge, not an awful lot of impact in the final third of the pitch. Cross for the goal was obviously a plus, but I think in terms of his general performance, for me, he was probably a 5.
What it is, someone's just informed me that we forgot Ben Johnson, so I will get to I'll get to Ben Johnson after this. I'll do Bowen first. Andy, Bowen, mate.
I'll give him a 5. He got an assist, which was a delicious ball, to be fair. But yeah, he offered nothing else. He just kept running into players. Yeah, just a 5. There's not really much else to comment on it. It's
Caffel?
I'll give him a 5 because it was just a 4-0's sort of performance with an assist added on. That's pretty much it.
West Ham Online?
Yeah, I didn't realise he got the assist till you just. I think I was watching it so angry, probably cartwheeling around the room in rage. I didn't even realise who it was that crossed the ball. I was going to give him a G for Dawson because he literally played like Casper yesterday. The man was invisible. But because he got that assist, as you said, I'd probably give him a 5 as well.
5. Peach, Jared Bowen, mate.
Jared Bowen gets you know what Jared Bowen gets, dog? Jambo gets a WTY. Just have a guess what that is, dog. Just have a guess what that is.
I know what it is, but for my people who like need a dictionary, it means what the fuck.
No. WTY means worse than Yarmolenko. That's what Jared Doohan got, dog. Worse than blood clot Yarmolenko.
Oh, WTY, WTF. What am I doing? I need a dictionary. I need a dictionary, mate. Honestly, I'm just listening. And, my bad. Ben Johnson, Rob. What do you make of Ben Johnson yesterday?
Energetic. Didn't unfortunately get forward that much, putting balls into the box or anything like that. It didn't really happen. Good block towards the end of the match that could have been a point saver, but then probably got done for the winner when he allowed Joe Willock to get a jump on him. So he unfortunately loses a mark for that. I think I'd probably give him a 5.
5. Andy?
4 for me. No, actually, I'm going to give him a 5 because the ball that he done for Soufal's header was a very good cross, actually. And Soufal, like what West Ham Online said earlier, I thought we should have done better on it. But yeah, no, it's not his fault, mate. And I don't want it to seem like I'm going to him as a scapegoat. But yeah, I wasn't too impressed with him. So yeah, 5 for me.
Careful.
I thought he was shocking in the first half, but in the second half, he sort of brought a bit more to him. I think he actually put in a few nice-looking balls. Like, I know there was no one on the end of them. If we were playing attacking-wise and we had, like, if we had Rice there and had Souček to get into the box and stuff like that happening, he put in balls into dangerous areas. Maybe 2 or 3 times he did that, which impressed me because that's the sort of issue I've had with Johnson. I think I don't understand why we put him on at times when we're winning, and then when he starts, he hasn't impressed me fully. But I'll give him a 4 or 5. I'll give him a 5 just because he actually, like, I sort of had a bit of the light bulb switched on when I seen him putting in a few balls. But the problem was he had to cut onto his right to do it. He's a square peg in a round hole. Like, they're putting him at left wing back when he's a right full back.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to put Soufal out left wing back and expect him to be anything more than a 5. It is a different position.
Yeah, it is, mate. It is. And the problem is we've got him over there and he's not supposed to be there. He's supposed to be on the other side. West Ham Online. Thoughts?
Well, I want to say quite a few things on Johnson. You can tell why he was so highly rated in the academy, but at the same time, you can tell that he's a young player. And what I mean by that is I've never seen a player who is so inconsistent in games. You'll have him 10 minutes, he's absolutely brilliant, doing everything right. Next 10 minutes, he turns into, my God, he's shocking. What is he doing? The guy looks like a cat on roller skates. Next 10 minutes, he's back to Roberto Carlos. Next 10 minutes, he's playing like a square again. So, yeah, he's really inconsistent. I don't know if anyone's mentioned it, but he done a brilliant clearance off the line as well from somebody's shot, which I liked. And he done that great ball to Soufal. But I thought for most of the time, his general play was pants. They said that the reason that he was able to play on the left originally when he came out of the academy was because he's 2-footed. I'm sorry, he's not 2-footed. His left foot is about as strong as a baby in a wrestling contest. So I'd personally give him a 5.
5 for you. Peach, give me a rating for Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson, right? It's what West Ham Online. Big up Alfie, but it's what West Ham Online said, dog. It's like they say he's 2-footed, but he's not. They put him on the left so he can cut in, but he doesn't. I'd give him an 8 for effort, but I'd give him a 3 or 4 for the performance, man. And it's not his fault. He's a youngster. He got thrown in at Liverpool in the deep end. But I think there's good things to come from him. He is one for the future. But if he's one for the future, guys, why aren't we playing Alves? Like, why didn't we take off Dawson and put Alves in, man?
Yeah, I agree, mate. I do. No idea, but let's get to Lingard. Scored another goal. He scored another goal. Our loan signing. He's now top scorer at the club, or he's joint top scorer at the club. Rob, what's your thoughts on his performance, mate?
Quiet first half, but then, to be fair, I don't think he was alone there. Second half, he came more into it. Obviously, scored from the penalty, and I thought it was a great penalty, in fairness. And you know, I thought he showed a great deal of courage, because obviously the last time he took a penalty, he had it saved, and yes, he scored the rebound, but it was a complete abortion of a penalty, in my opinion. Just so this was it showed a lot of bottle for him to step up in a game critical situation at 2-1 down to 10 men, 10 minutes to go, for him to step up and say, I'll take that. So that took an awful lot of courage. A little bit concerned, obviously, with just that he got substituted. Hopefully it's nothing more than cramp. So I think he was a solid 6.
6. Andy?
I'd probably agree, a 6. Great penalty. He didn't really have much to feed on. Newcastle worked him out. But to be fair, he didn't have anyone else around him either. We were just so leggy and just didn't look the West Ham we've had all season. So you can't really fault him for his effort. But yeah, I'll probably give him a 6.
Yeah. Caffel?
Just it's 5. Like, it was another one of them sort of Fornals performances with the goal. Like, there was nothing to remember about it. And if he didn't get the goal, it was a 4. Like, there was nothing special. I'm not gonna say, oh, I feel bad for him, he had nothing to work with, because no one else did. So just because it's Lingard and he's been on fire, I'm not going to do that because no one else had it. So I'll just give him a 5.
West Ham Online.
Messi, Lingard. Yesterday he was relatively quiet. I'm pretty much just going to be a tunnel right now, because I'm going to echo everything that everyone else just said. But I thought he was quite quiet. A lot that he tried to execute a couple shots he tried to do in a couple dribbles didn't work, and I think he was getting quite frustrated. I thought the penalty was brilliant, and yeah, it took a lot of courage, but I'm not going to boost him up too much, because a penalty is something that really you should be scoring. It shouldn't affect your performance too much. So I'm going to give him a 5 as well.
5. Peach.
Lingard, right? Sorry, it just started pissing down here like cats and dogs, man. I ain't even playing, man. So I had to get out of the area I was in and go underground. But yeah, Lingard, he's our main threat right now, and every team is starting to realize that. And Bruce did a smart thing by having him doubled up, because he's the one that's bringing it for us right now, man. So big up to Steve Bruce, wanker, but big up to Steve Bruce. He read it properly, and he doubled up on him. He didn't have any space. He had as much space as in an elevator, banging some girl, dog. So it's no, not in an elevator. You got room in an elevator, in a toilet on a plane, dog, Mile High Club type thing, dog.
Peach, you're gonna get me shut down, mate. You're gonna get me shut down, bro. You're gonna get me shut down.
Sorry. Okay, so Lingard, he was doubled up all the time. He could get out of tight situations, but it was too much for him, man. And penalty was boom. The penalty was that's an international player penalty. Straight up. Not an Eric Dyer penalty. I don't give a two things if you think Eric Dyer's an international. He's not my international, dog. So it's I think he took the penalty very well. I think he was doubled up the whole match. But yeah, he came through. I give him an 8 just for the penalty, and he tried to put himself about, but it was just too much, man.
Yeah, I agree, mate. He did do well. He tried his best, but he was just had no help.
Yeah.
And the final rating of the night, because my battery's going to die, and I will speak to West Ham Online after about doing a show regarding the Super League. Is my final rating for the night is David Moyes. Rob, I come to you. Give him a rating out of 10.
To be fair, as I say, I don't have a problem with his team selection in a lot of ways. I might be able to say, oh, well, maybe this player should have played, that player should have played, but the team was largely what I expected, with the exception of Johnson in for Masuaku. I would have liked to have seen some action at half time, because it clearly didn't work in the first half, and I think that there needed to be at least one, possibly two substitutions made at half time to try and retrieve the situation. Who knows what might have happened if we'd done it? Maybe we'd have gone on and conceded a third, conceded a fourth. Maybe we might have made a comeback a little bit sooner and actually got over the line again. I think I'm going to go a 5 out of 10. I think if he'd have made the subs a bit earlier, if he'd have made the subs earlier, I think it could have been a different story. But I think probably a 5.
4 for me. Subs should have come a lot sooner. He seems to, like, the players again seem to be ready, and then they spend 5 to 10 minutes going through everything. They should know what they're doing. They should be ready to come on, and I think that's the bit what frustrated me. So yeah, a 4 for me.
Careful.
I'll give him a 3. I wasn't particularly happy with the squad going into the game. It was good. It's a good enough team to beat Newcastle, but I don't think it was the right game plan. I think in-game management wasn't good. I think he should have sort of changed it up a bit quicker when Dawson had his moment, and then half-time should have got the subs on. It just overall nothing impressive. I can't say anything too good about it.
West Ham Online.
Look, he didn't have a lot of options with injuries. The things he got wrong, in my opinion, was playing 5 back with Ogbonna at left centre back, because it was very obvious that he'd never played that position or tried it in training. I think it was probably a last minute thing. I think he got that wrong. I think the subs, probably should have been a bit earlier, but at the same time, maybe he trusts the players who were playing more than the ones on the bench, and we did get back into it, so maybe you could say it's slightly justified. But I do agree, Ben Rama especially should have been on 10 minutes earlier. And yeah, I can't blame him too much personally. I think it was mainly down to Craig Dawson and the players why we lost. So I'll give him, just for that Ogbonna thing, I'll give him a 5.
And Peach, finally, mate.
David Moyes to me gets like many marks. He gets, you know, like when you go to school and that, you get like A, B, C, and D. He gets a D, but then he gets another D for being a dithering Dave, straight up. Then he gets an F, B, which is like free Ben Rama, man. Like, yo, Noble is Mr. West Ham, dog, but like, yo, Ben Rama could have been up front with Bowen and Lingard, and Fornals could have been right beside Suchek, but he chooses to go with Noble. David Moyes, man, like, can't Pierce like talk in his ear? Can't any of the other men, them like Nolan talk in his ear? Like, no, David Moyes, it was an F for fail, because he set up like we were playing Real Madrid or Barcelona. He was scared. This is flipping Newcastle, dog. Newcastle, like, they're shit. Like, we could have gone at them. But we played like we were playing City, or we were playing like Arsenal, or like Liverpool. Flipping Newcastle, man. Piss off, David. Like, I'm not happy with David for this match, man. Not at all.
Peach has spoken. And you know what? I quite agree with Peach there on that one. I think he was I think the lineup that he picked was, he had 3 centre halves there who were all over the place at the start, and obviously Dawson. Dawson gets sent off and it all goes down the pan. But,
James, before the game, what would you have done differently?
I think we can all agree that Abona wasn't fit. I think we can all sit there and go, Abona's not fit. And do you know what? If you've got Ben Johnson as a left wing back, put him as a left back. Like, do you know what I mean? And get round it another way. If he's good enough to go left wing back, he's good enough to go left back. And we've played him left back before in games. It's just me personally. I thought we had three centre halves who was just running into each other. No one knew where to be.
What you said. You aced it. You aced it with the 4-2-3-1. Like, that should have been it.
Yeah, it should have been, but it wasn't. But we move on, lads. We've got Chelsea next, and Q another 3-2 incoming. But who's who? We just don't know.
James, if the reports are true, we might not need to worry. Well, we'll see at 9:30, but we might not need to worry about winning any more games if they're going to do a 20 points deduction or whatever they're saying. So we'll see about that.
We'll see whether they do.
We could win a title then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd celebrate it much I don't know how to feel if we won it like that.
Mate, if we won the league, I don't care how we win it.
You'd celebrate. Of course, you'd bloody celebrate it. Well,
get
them pricks out of the league. No matter bloody 20-point deduction. Fuck them out if they're going to be acting like that. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
I would run to Ireland, I'll grab you, and then we both run to London, dog. How you mean, man?
I'll bloody swim across and start a parade myself if we win the league over this bloody bullshit. I will swim across, start a parade, and I'll be chilling out in Duke's pub, having a nice few pints with the lads. That's what will be happening. They can rightly shove that one right up their arse, them big clubs. They can fuck right off.
Yeah. I'll wrap this up with voice then.
Florentino Perez, you're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. You're an
embarrassment. They're criminals. They're absolute crooks. And let them go. Let them go. If that's the way they want it, let them go. Well, I know you're going to have a show, James, and I am coming on because I have a lot to say about this.
Give me an hour and a half. Give me an hour and a half to charge my phone up, and then we'll do a show about 10 o'clock, 10:30. But I will rig it up and sort it out, and we'll get it on about the Super League because obviously that's a different subject to this.
You're a disgrace.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
The Glazers, get them out.
If you keep on saying a disgrace when I'm trying to wrap the show up, I'll be kicking you all in the
right, James, go ahead.
Right. Thanks for watching, everyone. This view from the sidelines. It's a bad weekend for us personally, but
good. We'll see.
All we've got to do is basically look forward now to the next game, Chelsea at home. It's a big game. If we pick up the win there, and then the top four dream is back in action. But while I'm trying to wrap this up, and I've got people shouting at me, it's so hard work. But anyway, I want to thank Gatesy for coming on tonight. Forge from Irons, follow them, subscribe to them. Andy, the side man, he does Hammer Time of My Life with Gatesy, top man. We've got Caffel all the way from up Ireland. You know what I mean? The Emerald Isle. The top man. And West Ham Online. All the way from like Benfleet, Southend. And then we got Peach. The man, the myth, the legend.
I believe in Peach.
Let's have it. Let's go onwards and upwards, and let's get this top four. And let's all meet each other on Barcelona.
You're a disgrace.
Yeah. And thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and take care all. Thanks everybody. Much love.
Everybody in the live chat.